In the headlines tonight, government says Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church's recent difference should be settled amicably. In SNNP regional state, referendum is anticipated to take place Monday, February 6, 2023. Hello there, welcome to ETV News. I'm Grum Tariko. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church's recent difference between its fathers, according to the government, should be settled amicably and within. The government has always followed protocol in the past and whenever issues have risen in order to keep the national institution strong and united. The government will keep stepping up this initiative. When internal issues threatening the institution's unity were brought up, the government encouraged them to be handled through dialogue and internal process. It truly produced outcomes. All sides should carry out their responsibilities so that the conflict between the fathers of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church can be settled amicably through dialogue and in accordance with the Church's customs. Elders and religious fathers should mediate a peaceful solution to the conflict by bringing the parties closer together. Followers should avoid adding the issue and leveraging other parties in order to play a significant role. The security forces have a responsibility to protect the local populace, religious institutions, and peace. They ought to establish order among the sides that are escalating the confrontation. Media organizations should avoid publishing content that makes the issue worse. The government also exhorts the populace to contribute positively to the efforts needed to find solution. On the other hand, it has been determined that the forces attempting to sow discord by dividing faith and nation, as well as those who have tried unsuccessfully to destroy the nation, are striving to exacerbate the issue rather than find a solution. This will never be accepted by the government. The government pledged that it will endeavor to uphold the law against those who are attempting to worsen the situation, sow discord among the populace, and put the nation's peace and security at risk. Referendum is expected to happen tomorrow, Monday, February 6, 2023, in 6 zones and 5 special districts of SNNP regional state. Thus, residents of these towns and special districts will vote on whether they want to continue in the SNNP or form a new regional state to be called the South Ethiopia People's Region. All preparations have been finalized in Arba Minch town, the capital of Gamo zone, where our staff reporter Shagai Mata is following up developments. Johannes Van Town presents the updates dispatched by Shagai Mata.
The referendum will be held in Gamo, Gofa, South Omo, Gedo, Walaita, and Konso zones, as well as the Rwashe, Amaro, Buji, Ale, and Basketo special districts. According to the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia, more than 3 million people have been registered to participate in the referendum. The new state means the number of regional states in the Federal Republic will grow to 12. According to Bergane Bekkala, election coordinator in charge of polling station in Arba Minch, election materials and resources needed for the referendum have been adequately distributed to all polling stations.
There are 804 polling stations in our zone, and above 650,000 voters are registered by now. So we are ready. These 804 polling stations are ready to accept or to facilitate the voting process.
Meanwhile, head of the Gamo Zone's Peace and Security Department told ATV that security forces are in standby mode to monitor the peace during the referendum.
A comprehensive security and safety plan is in place. The plan defines who should do what. A consensus has been reached on the plan with all the security agencies.
Some 3,752 polling stations have also been prepared to conduct the referendum across 6 zones and 5 special districts, it was learned.
In a related development, our staff reporter Shagai Matao told us earlier today that all preparations for a peaceful referendum have been finalized and the security situation in Arba Minch remains calm. The event is said to be extraordinary in that it creates an opportunity to address public grievance which has been bottled up for quite some time. Let's take a look at what Shagai Mata has to say from Arba Minch.
I am in Arba Minch, a town and a separate woreda in the southern part of Ethiopia. Arba Minch means 40 springs and originated from more than 40 springs. It is located in the Gamo zone of South Nation nationalities and peoples region and some 500 kilometers away from Addis Ababa. It is the largest town in the zone, and it is the second largest town next to Hawassa, which is the capital city of the newly formed Sidama region. Tomorrow a big event will be held in this town. About 73,000 residents will vote for referendum, and these residents will spread across 100 polling stations. The security situation of the town is very calm and peaceful, allowing the referendum to take place as planned. All polling stations are equipped with the necessary facilities. Security personnel are ready. Voters expressed their readiness to participate in the referendum. Shagai Matao reporting for ETV. I'll keep posting latest developments on tomorrow as the referendum proceeds.
Chairperson of the National Election Board of Ethiopia, Burtukan Mideksa, declares all the necessary preparations are done to undertake referendum in 6 zones and 5 districts that were under the Southern Nationalities and Peoples region. If supported by the inhabitants in the respective zones and districts, the referendum slated for February 6 becomes a green light to establish a new region. In order to guarantee that each group of people receives their fair share, the action is being taken in light of constitutional principles and the federal system. Daniel Kasaun has the full story.
In last August, the House of Federation has given green light for 6 zones and 5 districts that were under the Southern Nations, Nationalities and Peoples region to hold a referendum and establish a new region if supported by the inhabitants. It also instructed the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia to conduct referendum within 3 months consequently. All the necessary preparations are put in place to hold the referendum. Chairperson of the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia, Burtukan Mideksa, urges the leaderships at all levels and the security entities to provide all the necessary supports for the finalization of the referendum peacefully and democratically.
Registration of the electorates has so far been completed in the 3,769 polling stations. What is better in this election is more awareness works have been undertaken for the smooth process of the referendum day on February 6th. Discussion and argument forums were done successfully. Monitoring and evaluation teams have been doing the preparations very well. We are pretty sure that all the necessary preparations are put in place accordingly.
The chairperson also recalled the experiences drawn from the referendums undertaken in Sidama and Southwest regions would help this one more effective.
Our teams are well prepared to address challenge of the unprecedented mishaps which might arise through the polling process. Swift measures will be provided to make a fair and clear referendum. We have been able to correct some problems with the executives and our teams deployed there. We are passing through new experiences.
The leaderships at all levels and security entities are ready to provide all the necessary supports for the finalization of the referendum peacefully and democratically.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Theta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and WorldRemit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Birr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
81 years ago, horse riders in the Awi zone of the state of Amhara established the Sabat Bet Agau Equestrian Association. Today, more than 60,000 horse riders are members of the association. By the end of January, the association annually conducts a horse riding parade and show in Enjibara town. The Sabat Bet Agau Horse Riders Equestrian Association was established by people of the local who were fighting the Italian invasion.
Yawi Mahaver Maletna. Yawi Hizv Mahaver Maletna.
The annual horse riding festival is probably the largest horse riding festival on the planet. Horse is an integral part of the Agau life. The Agau used their horses for transport, for weddings, and the horse race as well. It was during the brutal invasion of the fascist Italy that the Agau on their horsebacks repulsed the enemy's aggression. The Agau Horse Racing Festival is celebrated colorfully in Enjibara, seat of the Awi Agau administrative zone of the state.
አንደኛ ይወጡ ነበር አባት እሺ
እና ከዛለኝ እሱን አይቼ እኔም መልመድ ፈልጌ አልምዴ ስለው አልመደኝ
የፈረስ ስም ማን ነው ሻንቆ ነው ይባላል እንዴት ነው ጉልበቱ ጎበዝ ነው
አዎ ምንም አይደለም
ተለማምደሻል ለዚህ ዝግጅት ስንተኛ ትወጫለሽ
አንደኛ እወጣለሁ ብዬ ሞክራለሁ
Welcome back in. You are watching ETV News. Ethiopia's recent economic developments offer a glimmer of hope following various economic liberalization efforts. Deputy Chairperson of the Prosperity Party, Adam Farah, indicated the achievements registered in the economic sector in the past half year are worth to be replicated in other sectors. The plans of homegrown economic reform of the country is showing positive trajectory to ensure the aspired prosperity of Ethiopia in the intended time. Daniel Kasaun has more on this.
The current government of Ethiopia has come to the people with homegrown economic reform agendas to ease the burdens in the economic performance and to benefit the public at large. In the last 4 years, even within challenging situations, the Ethiopian economic reform program has proved itself resilient to various shocks it encountered. Now, it is taking reliable positive trajectory and lessons are being drawn from it to achieve in other sectors. The deputy chairperson of the Prosperity Party, Adam Farah, indicated The achievements registered in the economic sector in the past half year are worth to be replicated in other sectors.
With regard to the economy, we have been able to perform a lot in the sector. As a party, our direction has been targeting multiple economic sectors and approaches. The untapped huge potential of the country has been taken into consideration to ensure the aspired prosperity.
The Minister of Plan and Development, Fitsum Assefa, indicated the current trend of socio-economic performance of Ethiopia is in a positive manner. Dr. Fitsum said the nation's economy will be projected to have better results from the last year's 6.4% growth to 7.5% during this fiscal year.
The revenue we collected from the mining sector is not encouraging. If compared to last year's, it has shown over 50% reduction. The other activities are carried out in the past by withstanding all the pressure and challenges are bearing fruits. According to the economic forecast, the nation's economy is projected to be 7.5%. We have to bear in mind that Ethiopia has been able to perform better leadership for better results.
The current trend shows the agriculture sector will contribute to greater performance, maintaining the status quo. With regard to the industry, the sector is projected to grow by 8.2% in this fiscal year.
Ethiopian Airlines today dedicated an aviation training center in Hawassa, the regional capital of Sidama region, at a cost of more than 350 million birr. The Hawassa Aviation Training Center was inaugurated in the presence of senior officials of the center, the Sidama region chief administrator and the mayor of Hawassa. During the inauguration ceremony, Ethiopian Group CEO Mesfin Assaw stated the training center was built in response to the airline's increasing service demand. According to him, the Hawassa Training Center is the second in the country after the Addis Ababa Aviation Training Center, which has been in operation for a long time. Ethiopia has been providing training for youths from all over Africa, in addition to those from home, as you also said. The training center, which can accommodate 320 students, has 160 student dormitories, 72 teachers' rooms, 9 classrooms, 3 simulation rooms, 4 computer rooms, dining cafeterias, and modern equipment for training, it was learned. Sidama Region Chief Administrator Desta Lendamo said on his part, the Ethiopian airline is a famous airline that is promoting Ethiopia to the world. The second training center built in Hawassa will have multifaceted economic benefits for both the city and the airline, he added. In the midst of efforts to reawaken the tourism industry, the Ethiopian Tour Operator Association says more promotions are needed. Talking to ETV, Association President reiterated that after the peace agreement reached between the federal government and TPLF 3 months back, tourism flow from Eastern African nations has been increasing, adding it is high time that the opportunity is utilized to the nation's best ability. Tigstanesa has the following report. Take a look.
Ethiopia's tourism industry is one that remains hard hit, first due to the coronavirus pandemic and later following the eruption of 2-year war in the north. However, the nation is witnessing a revamp in the industry thanks to the Pretoria Peace Deal, which ended 2 years of hostility.
But nowadays, especially after the resolution to come with the peace agreement comes, the demand is increasing from what it was previously.
Ethiopia is one of the most unique and fascinating countries in Africa. It has a rich history, diverse culture, and incredible natural attractions, with breathtaking landscapes and vast plains filled with wildlife. It's no surprise many people visit Ethiopia as a safari holiday destination. The country's most famous sites include Semien Mountain National Park, the Nakil Depression, and Bali Mountains National Park. However, the upsurge in the flow of tourists to these sites could only be maintained with aggressive promotions.
What I'm recommending is we need to make an assessment. Tourism is a perishable industry, so anytime those things can happen. So what I'm recommending is we need to assess those things, and we need to act how we have to act for the future in kind of such kind of conditions when that are happening. And the other thing is, in terms of the flow, if we think the flow of tourists have two powers. One is the pulling power, the other is the pushing power. The pushing power comes from the individual interest. If you see Saudi Arabia, they are getting a lot of tourists because of, especially from the Muslim religion, because it's once in their lifetime the Muslims have to go there for Hajj. So this is what we call it the push. So in Ethiopia we don't have that much kind of push, but we need to focus on the pulling one. If you see the pulling one like Dubai and other places, they are bringing lots of options, package, and making publicity, diplomacy, and all the other things to attract people. So for now, for us, we need to call for the tourists to come and visit or explore Ethiopia.
With support to the hotel and hospitality sector underway in the upcoming AU summit presenting itself as a splendid opportunity, Tourism State Minister Seleshi Girma, for his part, reiterated that Ethiopia remains calm and a best tourist destination in spite of what's being propagated by some West travel advisory services.
The conference tourism become a priority in our tourism map. In the past, Ethiopia used to focus mainly on leisure and holiday travelers. Now we also opened the Ethiopian Convention Bureau, which coordinates the meeting, incentive, convention and exhibitions to happen in the country. With this Convention Bureau we established under the supervision of our ministry, we have focused on bringing more events, more exhibition and international conference. We are more seeing a bright future or promising future in the tourism sector ahead.
During the post-war period, Ethiopia made wise and timely use of the annual Christmas and Timkat festivities to advertise its tourism industry and how things are getting back to the pre-war times.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.